So this morning we were still working on this stuff. The testing is in a state of not finished yet. So our options are we use the built-in App Engine libraries or the new ones, but the new ones don't have testing, so it's kind of in between. But maybe in a few months they'll have that fixed. So what we will look at now is projection queries. Projection queries are a way to limit the amount of data the data store returns when you query for an item. And so we can say which fields we want to query. First name, last name in this example. By using .project. So in the, we have our data store queries here. And the idea is that we can add, in addition to like order, limit, and filter, we can add project, and you give it the field names. So say I only wanted usernames. Now, if I did that, so this is get user tweets. This is what you see if you go to the profile page. So this page. So I'm at a user's profile, and so I see their tweets. What's going to happen with the change I just made? So I added a .project username.
Tell me what's a projection query do again?
It limits the amount of data returned. So it only returns the data associated with the fields you give it.
It should just give you the usernames. We got this
That's right.
one
So
user.
the text and the time should be missing. Oh, it's not running.
It is missing.
Everything's missing. Help to run server. That's interesting. Let's project something else. So there, we lost the username, and the times is a long while ago. That's like 0, and then this is just the text is all we see. So you can isolate what you want to return. The error I saw is described here. Projection queries. They have a bunch of docs about limitations and what you can and can't do with a projection query. But I just wanted to mention it because it may be useful for some things where if you have, our tweets are really small, but maybe they'll grow over time, so they have a lot of properties. And maybe you don't want all the properties for some queries. And so you can use project to get a small subset of the data, which can improve performance. But otherwise, we may not use them at all, but I just wanted to show you. Okay? Any questions about that? They're pretty easy. It really is just add .project. So I'm going to erase what I just did. Because I don't want to do that. Okay. So the first feature we want to add to our Twitter clone is followers. So the idea is that in Twitter, you can follow other people, and they can follow you. And when you follow somebody, and you go to the home page, instead of seeing the most recent tweets, what you see is tweets from your followers. Sorry, tweets from the people you're following. So if I follow 3 people, I'll see their tweets here. Okay? And so what we want to do is implement that. We want to add followers and following. Okay? Everybody understand the idea of a follower? It's very much like a friend in Facebook, the same kind of idea. You go to Facebook and you see posts from your friends. You go to Twitter and you see posts from the people you're following. Okay? And vice versa, when they go to Twitter, they see the posts from people they're following. If you're following each other, then you see each other's posts. Okay? So in Twitter, you'll often see, if I don't know, what's an interesting Twitter profile? Does anybody know one?
Caleb Doxy.
I don't have a Twitter.
Justin Bieber.
Okay, I don't know his, but let's Google it.
I presume it's Justin Bieber. I know it's not Justin.
There, at Justin Bieber. I guess I could have guessed that. So he has followers here. So he's following 226,000 people, and 65 million people are following him. So, you know, you could click it and see all the people. And I suppose if you did this long enough, you could see all of them, but that would take forever. But that's what we're building, okay? So as far as changes to what we've built so far, what that means is this page changes. If I go to slash, instead of showing all the tweets, it shows the tweets from people that I'm following. So we need to filter tweets. Okay. We also might want to add to this page, I have this link tweets here. You might want to add followers and following links, like we had on the Twitter page. So you could list those people. So you could list the people they're following and list the people following them. That might also be nice. The other thing we probably want to add is a button over here. Click the button to follow this person. Okay? Because that's what you do in Twitter. There's a follow button somewhere in here. Up here somewhere. Here it is. Follow. Right? So that's what we're doing. I mean, it's pretty basic, but that's the idea. So yeah, we're adding this page, follow button, and if you go to the home directory, it changes what's shown. As far as how you implement that, there are lots of different ways. I can give you maybe some suggestions. One would be really simple. Just change your profile, add to it following in the list of strings, and this would list every single account you're following. And that may be the easiest way to do this. Obviously, that's not going to work if you have 65 million people you're following. That could be a problem. But let's just not worry about that, okay?
No, he has 69 million followers.
That's right. He's only following 290,000 people, which will also still cause problems. So you can only store like 2,000, I think. So let's just say you can only follow 2,000 people. That's okay, I think. We're never going to have that many people in our Twitter code anyway. So,
What?
though if you wanted to, you could have a separate type. It's stored as a separate object in the data store. You know, like it would have inside of it the followee and the follower. I guess that's what you'd call it. And it would have those two fields, and you'd store it as a completely separate object. But that gets complicated. So this is probably the easiest way. If you choose to go this route, that means that for, you know, the get tweets here, you're going to have to add something like func get tweets for account. Oh, I guess it's email. And what you're going to have to do in here is do several words, one for each person you're following, and merge them all together. Or you can make a really complicated query. But like I said, there's many ways to do this, and the easiest way is just to make the different queries and merge them all together. But we'll see the trade-offs there, and like I said, it gets complicated. So, but yeah, I just want people to try and do it, okay? And then we'll discuss the trade-offs if people implement it in different ways. Because this is sort of fundamental to building an app on App Engine, is that you run into these issues and you have to think carefully about how you want to solve them. And that's what we'll talk about next when we get there. Data modeling without joins. Okay, but hopefully we can build the followers. Any questions about followers? No questions? Okay.